Hi, Amy. My name is Candy from candypalooza.com. Welcome so much. I'm so excited to speak with you. First of all, sorry, kind of nervous.
Hey, well, so nice to meet you as well. Thank you for taking the time and able to talk to me.
Absolutely. I absolutely love the show.
Oh, thank you.
I wish it was longer.
Yes, yes. We could have done a lot if we had a little bit more time, to be honest. You think of that, but you got to make them short and sweet so people will actually watch. So I'm
Absolutely.
glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful show. The recipes are absolutely amazing, and you really make them look just super expensive,
Thank
Fed
you.
and Frugal is the name of the series on Million Stories. And let's start off by you giving my audience a little bit of a backstory about yourself and telling us about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a personal chef that is based in Lake Tahoe. I cook for people all around the area. Usually, what I do is a high-end service. But as a family, as a mother, and with a child and a husband, and we're constantly eating, you can make things that taste amazing but not break the bank. You know what I mean? Like, I with my clients, sky's the limits, but with me, I'm conscientious of how much I spend on the meals that we're preparing. So if there's little tips and tricks that I know throughout my experience with food and I can pass that on to people, I feel like that's great knowledge for everyone.
Absolutely. So how did you get started with Million Stories and the series?
Million stories in the series. So
Uh,
they came to me with an opportunity, and they thought I could be a good candidate. And I was like, me on camera? Are you kidding me? I don't think I would be good, but I'm not one to pass down an opportunity and a challenge. And I had a lot of fun with it. And we started developing the concept of what we would want our message to be. And it turned out really well. It's a series that I'm really proud of.
it's a beautiful series. I love it. Just looking at it, I hadn't even started watching the series, and just looking at the images, I was like, oh my goodness, like these are just beautiful shots. You mentioned in the fried rice episode that it's not your kitchen.
Yes, that was
So
not my kitchen. That was a studio. We had to make sure it was lit. My home kitchen is a lot smaller,
Mhm.
and the light's not necessarily the best in the angles. And people are visual. You want to look at an appealing place, and I wanted to kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, this isn't my kitchen. Like, I don't want people to think, oh, look at this chef just in this amazing place in Tahoe. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm an average Joe. you know.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, you really, you can have a kitchen, but you really bring it to life. And I feel like you really put a lot of yourself in the meals. So when you went to decide on the menus for each episode, how did you choose what meals you wanted to share?
So I wanted to share something that would be rounded since this was, our first season. I can't go out with 3 chicken dishes and kind of hammer chicken's cheap, eat chicken. So I was trying to think of things that were well-rounded, but also things that I enjoy eating and what I make at home. The meatball dish is a prime example of something that I do at home because I like to cook, but I don't like to cook all the time. So I meal prep quite a bit for my family and I. And these little things where when people are like, oh, well, I made this dish and I have to make another dish. I'm like, well, if you just make more of meatballs or a chicken tortilla soup and you freeze it in containers, then you just have multiple meals at another time where you're still eating a home cooked meal, but you're saving the time because, like, I cook for a living. I love cooking, but I don't want to do it 3 days a week and for my client or 3 times a day and for my clients. People get burnt out.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
things like that people can learn. And then I wanted to show variety of just different types of things, like where it wasn't just chicken. Like, we had a little bit of beef, we had a little bit of the ahi tuna, which then could be replaced with a canned tuna or shredded chicken. So everyone's budgets are different. Maybe someone can afford a tiny piece of ahi tuna. Maybe that's out of the wheelhouse in some people. And so that's why I was trying to present. If you can't even do the tuna, the raw tuna, then maybe think outside the box. Canned tuna, shredded chicken. And with most of my recipes is I like people to scribble outside the lines. Don't feel like when you see something, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have cilantro.
Right.
Like, it's okay. It's not going to go, the flavor might taste a little bit different, but if you have parsley or you leave it out, it's not going to like make or break the recipe.
Right.
The idea is just to get you started and using things that you have.
Right. That's amazing. And like I said, it comes through. I love how you add, the meal prep tips, and the garlic tip was one that I was like, oh, I need to do that, because we cook with a lot of garlic. And so when you're gonna have to give me this recipe again.
Yeah.
So you put the garlic in there, you cover it with olive oil, and then
Yeah, I did it with like an avocado oil. So
Okay.
what you're doing is you're taking whole cloves of
Mhm.
garlic and you're confying it in the oil, which is a slow cooking process. So by cooking it very low and slow, you're creating the garlic cloves to be like fork tender and caramelized, almost like what you do when you roast a whole head of garlic in the oven. But you're taking the cloves and then they're just really soft, and then you're preserving them necessarily in the oil. And you can use the great garlic oil on
Mhm.
salads or brushing your meats or your vegetables before you throw them in the oven to roast. So you have like two components that you can use, and it
Right.
lasts quite a bit of time in the pantry and in the refrigerator. For me, I hate taking a head of garlic and peeling the cloves and mincing the cloves and then having
Right.
garlic pan smell gross. You know, it's
I have,
like,
yeah, I have like half a head of garlic on my
yeah.
counter right now, and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do with it. I'm totally gonna do that.
So if
So
you just take a spoonful and throw it in a dish, it's like, I'm done.
yeah. So I have he recently turned 16, and
Okay.
he's interested in cooking. What is, and he's, done several, little things. He's made spaghetti for us. What is a recipe that you think any person should be able to cook for themselves?
A recipe that, let's see, you could easily do like
Mhm.
fried chicken, like maybe like not even fried, but like a pan fried chicken where you can coat it in breadcrumbs or things like that, kind of like a chicken tender-esque type
Mhm,
thing. So it's
mhm.
like jazzed up. You can slice chicken into cubes or the meatballs, those are a good thing for a teenager to make.
I'll
Um,
definitely do that
get your
episode.
hands in it and form them and then be able to make them into sandwiches or put them on all different types of things that you have in the house. Probably lots of carbs because they eat a
And
lot.
boys,
Yes.
yes.
I have
Wait.
a 6-year-old boy and I don't even know how I'm going to handle when he's 16. I'm going to have to get another job.
Yeah.
The way he
More
eats.
food, more
Yeah.
food. So in how long has Lincoln been cooking with you? Because I saw when he was 5
Yes.
at the time.
Yes, he was 5 at the time. He started probably around 2 or 3 when he would get his little stool up to this oven and look down and want to crack the eggs, want to mix the eggs. And I'd be like, okay, you can burn yourself. Don't mix them. We had a lot of fails where you'd mix the eggs and they're flying all over the stove. And I'm like, he's trying to make the eggs, but he's learning. Um, he's been trying to work with little, like a knife and trying to cut
Mm,
carrots and things like that under supervised visits. He wants to progress. He loves to eat just like his mother. So we
that's
share that passion where he is going to be a man one day and know how to cook good
love.
meals.
Yes. And when it was the fried rice, and you'd put kale in the fried rice. And when
Mhm.
I saw him take that big bite, I was like, oh my goodness, look at this baby. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing
He has
to
an advanced palate, we say,
do.
because he is not normal. He is not like some kids that I see. I am very lucky. He usually will eat everything except tomatoes. He doesn't really care for. So I'm
Right.
like, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You'll eat
Right.
all the stuff.
Everything
And I'm
else.
like, I can do tomatoes. So he loves to eat good food and stuff. And I don't think he really understands that it's me being a chef, the food that I put down. And he's like, oh, we're having this today. And it's not like me being a chef, our food at home is fancy. He's just has a lot of a diverse things that he's gets to eat.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So what part of the show interested you in becoming, or joining the team for Fed and Frugal?
Um, well, like I said, this was my first time. I've never been a type of person that is on video and thinking I was like, I'm going to do a cooking show one day. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun teaching people and explaining things, because some things just from me in my job, they come easier where I have this knowledge where I'm like, oh, people don't like the garlic confit. People don't know that this could just be a great thing to do at home, or how easy making a mayonnaise is. And
Mhm.
so I feel like if you share that knowledge, and that's really rewarding, is you teach people these tips and tricks and these meals, and they can get into the kitchen and be like, wow, I can put a nice meal on for my family or for my partner, or things like that, where it's exciting and they feel like, when I cook for people, it's like, it's my love language. I love to it makes me feel happy and
Right.
special. It's kind of, so if you can give that to someone else, it's really special.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we were able to do this, and I had a lot of fun and feel very lucky.
But we're looking forward to season 2, right?
I hope so.
Yes.
Fingers
Yes,
crossed.
yes, yes. Yes. Thank you so much for speaking with me, Chef Amy. Again, a beautiful show. The recipes are mouth-watering, and I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to chat, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.